Hello, my name is Randy Rolfe, and I'm an independent consultant with Nikken, and this is a showcase of Nikken, and it's not a corporate production, it's by us independent consultants, and we want to share our experiences with Nikken, and this is a weekly Zoom webinar, and there's another one Thursday evenings and a couple more throughout the week. So whoever recommended this, you can get the full list from them and really educate yourself about Nikken. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint to give you a good overview of Nikken and tell my story as we go along. So we believe Nikken is a better way to a life in balance. And the three little circles there are people, planet, and profit. And they can all work together. They don't have to be competing. So we're very excited to be part of Nikken. And one of the keys to a life in balance is the compounding effect of our daily choices and habits. And I spent many years as a family counselor after I left the practice of law, and it was very clear that families' problems came from not doing healthy things every day. And that's not just about health, but about emotions and about, so the mind, the body, and the financial decisions, all the decisions in your life, and we make hundreds of them every day, and they do impact over time and can make a radical difference in all areas of life: income, health, relationships, happiness, and success. And so I was working closely with people to make those good decisions every day with their family, with their spouse, and so on. And Nikken makes it easy. Nikken's all about active wellness and collaborative entrepreneurship. And it's based on the philosophy of the founder over 40 years ago in Japan. Isamu Masuda developed this idea that success was really the pursuit of balance in 5 pillars of health. And it's a progressive realization of the worthy ideal of having balance in healthy mind, healthy body, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. And I fell in love with that because that was one of the reasons I gave up the practice of law. It was all about the finances and how many hours you could bill, but it wasn't much about healthy mind. There was no time for family. I was a corporate lawyer. I wasn't sure I was helping society at all. And the partners I watched, they had big finances, but they had no time for their relationships, and their health was failing. So it wasn't a good model. And when I was working from home and had a family counseling practice, I had a lot more control, but the money wasn't coming in. So Nikken really makes an amazing opportunity to really work on pursuit of balance in all 5 pillars. I could only charge by the hour, and one of the biggest stresses on families was their finances. So I could only charge a certain amount per hour. So I wasn't going to get rich as a family counselor. The biggest stress in modern life is financial, and even worse since the recession. And we have health concerns, financial worries, lack of time, unhealthy lifestyle, too many demands, failure to take time to relax. I mean, people have had a decent vacation lately. Increasing family responsibilities, the sandwich generations taking care of their mothers and their fathers and their children as well, and sometimes uncles and aunts and nephews and nieces. So it's the stress is huge on modern families. Financial is the worst, and this is a diagram of cash flow quadrants that was developed by Robert Kiyosaki and became quite famous because it really points the finger at the different ways of earning money. Most people are employees and they have a job, and they only can be paid what the employer thinks their job is worth. And time equals money. There's no leverage, and the amount of active work determines your income. So a lot of people want to break out and have their own business. And when I was employed as a lawyer, they only paid me a certain amount. They were charging the client a whole lot more for my hour, but they only paid me a certain amount. And then when I was independent as a family counselor, I only made money when I was there. There's, again, no leverage, and time equaled money. So from moving from those two areas, 95% of the population is in that situation, an employee or self-employed. And you have even less time as self-employed. You can't, your business is at home as well. In the third quadrant, you're a business owner. And of course, the most famous possibility is a franchise with someone like McDonald's, but it costs over $1 million to start a McDonald's franchise, and you have to own 2 or 3 to actually make a decent income. And but you do have people working for you, and you can get home if you have a decent manager. And so you're leveraging your time through other people's efforts. And then the fourth quadrant is investor. And of course, you need a whole lot more money to live off investments, but then you're leveraging and you're compounding. You own more than one business. It's not dependent on you being there all the time or even hiring the people. You're investing, but of course it takes a lot of money. It takes a number of millions to have a residual income. The new trend in the economy is for people to be adding on temporary engagements. So people are independent workers and changing different jobs several times or having more than one. And the millennials are really discovering that they've watched their parents and grandparents be left high and dry with pensions and 401ks that didn't pan out. And what they're finding is this gig economy is more efficient for the employer and the employee, and there's more time freedom managing your own life for the employee who's not really an employee, he's an independent contractor. So it's got a lot of advantages. But finding the right gig that's actually going to give you the kind of income you want is still a challenge. It's easy to see how important this gig economy is becoming, because people are farming themselves out as basically taxi drivers with Uber, for example. And Uber has increased by a factor of 1,000 from 60 million to 68 billion just in 5 years, while GM, one of our biggest corporations, has gone up 1 billion. So we're seeing this incredible growth in the gig economy. Also, it's been facilitated, of course, by the internet, and business has changed completely. It's completely disrupted our way of doing business. Amazon's gone from 83 billion to 385 billion. So that's by a huge change, while Walmart has actually went down a few billion in those same 5 years. So the way we do business has dramatically changed, and that's part of the gig economy. And a lot of people are developing businesses online. So what is it about Nikken that gives it such an advantage? Well, we work through collaborative entrepreneurship. Each of us is an independent entrepreneur, but we work as a team, and we have a gig path to personal economic stability. We have so many advantages that's easy to integrate Nikken into your life. Very low cost of entry. So you work from home, you don't need a whole lot of fancy equipment. And it's only under $100 to join, and then to We have a turnkey entrepreneurial system, very simple to follow. And leadership, mentorship is huge. We help each other. So it's really the perfect gig. We're not trading time for money anymore. We're developing, we're leveraging with the help of others and compounding the effects. So what do? We utilize the gig economy to offer people opportunity and income and teach others to turn purpose into profits. We find and support our customers and create a team of entrepreneurs we call consultants. And so we're in a whole community of like-minded people who love their autonomy and also personal development. So it really makes a huge difference for people who get into the Nikken business. So it's a very simple plan. We join Nikken, we get our products, share and promote them, invite people to learn more, and Nikken does all the tough, heavy lifting, the R&D, the inventory, the operations, the accounting, the shipping, the warehousing, all of that. And we just promote what we have experienced with the products. And Nikken rewards us with commissions, special offers, incentives, bonuses, recognition, and luxury trips. And it's very generous compensation for bringing customers and consultants to Nikken, the company. And the core of it all is the certified Nikken home. It's the amazing technologies that Nikken is an absolute leader in around the world. So our pathway to active wellness is the wellness home. And Nikken's done research in all areas to support the natural healing and health powers of the body. So it's sleep, water, nutrition, light, and air. They're leaders in the research in all those areas. And the wellness home becomes a cash flow engine. We start up with whatever products we can get started with as a customer, and then we get the monthly support of the nutritionals and skincare and refills for our purification devices. And then we can upgrade so that we get a total wellness home. We're sleeping and eating and drinking the water and everything with Nikken technologies to help us. Then we invite additional users, family, friends, or customers. And Nikken is always looking for ways to support our bodies. So there's always product innovations. So once a person starts their wellness home, they can be building it for a lifetime. And this little diagram is our business model. It's very simple. Each person works to develop at least 5 wellness homes with customers, and then teach 3 people from their core circle of influence as consultants to do the same thing. So we teach 3 to reach 3, and it grows and it compounds. So we're leveraging through the ABC system, which this next slide depicts. If, say, a new consultant we call B, and they're inviting a potential customer or consultant to C, and they work with their mentor, A, who was probably their sponsor or someone who sponsored their sponsor, and then the roles shift as the C becomes the B, and so on. It's a very simple, very, very effective program to educate and have you earn while you learn. The support system is amazing. And one of the great benefits of Nikken is you're working with positive people. You have healthy mind, as well as healthy family, healthy society, time for your family, and you're really helping society. So this is a diagram of the different levels, and Nikken compensates you more and more as you become more and more valuable to the company. And if you think of this simple diagram of the apple seed, if you're the apple seed, there's no telling how many apple trees and apples that one seed can eventually lead to. It's infinite. There's no glass ceilings. There's no limit to how many people you can impact and how big your income can be. And this diagram. It's really neat. It shows the kinds of numbers you can generate. That would be you at the top with your organization, and you've got your 3 leaders who find 3, so that's 9 consultants, and if each of them have 5 customers, that's 45 customers in your group, and that will lead you to that first leadership level at silver, where you'll be earning at least $500 a month. Then as those 9 each find their 3 leaders, you've got 27, and they're helping 135 customers. So, and each of them get 5 customers, and that will put you at that'll probably about triple your income to over $1,000 a month. So it builds that way. Now that, of course, that's a perfect multiplication system. You're going to need to talk to a lot of people to find those leaders and those customers, but it's fun. You're helping people. So it's truly an amazing system. We can have global impact. So we're helping people, but we're helping the planet, and we're improving our profit picture as well. So our goal is every home a wellness home. And this is a diagram of all the different compensations that you do get: retail profits for your customers, cash bonuses. Nikken's always got lots of neat incentives, lifestyle bonuses and incentive trips, personal rebates, group overrides, and leadership bonuses. So it's truly an amazing program. So let's take a harder look at the technologies that are at the heart of all of this. The compounding effect of your daily choices, whether you get enough sleep, you have a good breakfast, you don't eat a lot of sugars and dead fats, and you get the exercise you need, it all compounds up. And you can either be a person, humans being more, which is the motto of the company, or a human under stress, not achieving your potential. Our health situation, where Nikken plays, is in a terrible state. 20 years ago, it was bad, but it wasn't this bad. Stress is the biggest killer. It impacts all the major degenerative chronic diseases that impact people, as well as the things that reduce the quality of life. Fatigues, allergies, depression, sleep problems, weight problems, but also those things that kill us early: heart disease, cancer, stroke, diabetes, and so on. So they know that stress is responsible for some 70% of all of that, because it changes the body chemistry and makes it much harder for the body to stay healthy. Sleep is a huge issue. It's getting worse every day because many people are adding all those gigs to their job, and they're not getting the sleep they need. And a significant 20% of our people work at night, because we're a 24/7 economy now, and their sleep, we're learning more and more about how their sleep cycles are completely messed up, and each organ has its own circadian rhythm, which isn't allowed to coordinate with the rest of the body anymore. Air and water are in the news every day. Outdoor air and indoor air are dangerous. Indoor can be worse, way worse than outdoor air, because of all the foreign chemicals we bring into our homes. 7 million premature deaths annually are linked to air pollution, according to the World Health Organization. And we are constantly exposed to air fresheners that are all alien chemicals, to detergents, cleansers, personal care products, you name it, bedding, flooring, carpets, and so on. Bottled water has been found to contain over 24,000 chemicals. Now they've noticed that there's microscopic plastic in bottled waters, all of them. And many of the agricultural chemicals, endocrine disruptors, medications from upstream are in our water now. So we need to really attend to all of these things. And of course, the children are suffering the most We have huge obesity rates in the children. They're not getting the nutrition they need. They're not getting the exercise they need. Half the adolescents aren't getting enough vegetables. Of course, low-income families have it the worst. And that's why I wanted to do family counseling, to get the next generation off to a good start. And I was so excited to find Nikken, because I actually knew from some experiences I had as a young lawyer, when I wanted to do something good for society, I helped farmers and Indians fight the placement of an ultra-high voltage transmission line across their property. And in working on that case, I found that we are all being affected by the electromagnetic pollution that is created by our electrically based lifestyle. And now we have the Wi-Fi as well. So we're all exposed to all these negative energies. So we need to do what we can to strengthen our body so it can deal with these invasive energies. So we be healthy by choice, not by chance. Again, looking at the 5 pillars of health. Now we're focusing on the body and the mind. Of course, they're both connected. They're both physical, metabolical functions. So we basically have 3 categories. We have the consumables, and I also trained as a nutritionist for my family and then to help other families. And it's amazing what Nikken has done with their nutrition line. They're always at the cutting edge. They try to be as organic as possible and vegan as possible and kosher, and getting rid of all the things you don't want. No dairy, no gluten, and all that kind of thing. And everything tastes great, but it's what I like best is it's balanced so that the body recognizes it as food and uses it for the health of every cell. So we have a meal replacement mix, which is the best, the only one actually I've ever been able to recommend. We have jade greenzymes, which are based on organic barley grass, and it's the finest vegetable food on the planet, and a whole rest of the line for supporting blood chemistry and the bones and so on. You must investigate those. And then the skincare is as environmentally and ecologically naturally developed as possible. And then in the environment, our leading technology is about the water. And we're 70 to 80% water, especially our brains. And we have the finest water purification system on the planet, and it does things that no other system does, including microstructuring the water, alkalizing it naturally with special stones, and having a good ionizing effect. And it doesn't even use electricity. It's gravity feed. You put your tap water in the top and it goes through all those processes. It's purified as fine as any filter out there. And then it does all those other things that nature does to energize and microstructure water. And we have a shower system that does the same thing, and a carry bottle that does the same thing. So you can be good to the environment and not be throwing ugly plastic bottles away all the time. This bottle is totally biodegradable, but you can use it for a couple of years before you throw it away. And then the signature technologies of Nikken is the magnetic technologies, the sleep system, the seat, the insoles, the jewelry, the magnetic rollers, the comforter, and all of that. So now I want to invite our special guest to share his story. These products are totally phenomenal. And Don, are you there? We don't have him on video. You can't see his handsome face, but I think we can get his voice. Are you there, Don? Let's see, we need to unmute you. There. Don, can you hear me?
Yes.
There you are. Okay, Don. I met Don a long time ago. We make wonderful friends in Nikken because we work collaboratively, and it's a joy. So I'd like you, Don, to share how you got involved in Nikken in the first place, and you have a fairly unique experience with the products, having them overseas. And so I'd love you to tell about your personal experiences with Nikken, and then talk a little bit about what the business has meant to you.
Well, my background is I was a Navy medic for 20 years, a Navy corpsman. And so I worked in different aspects of medicine in hospitals and clinics, and also in combat medicine. I was in the Gulf War and in Iraqi freedom. And I was interested in health. What I saw working in the hospital, sometimes I didn't think we did what was the best for the patients. And I was at a cancer walk, and there was a lady that was doing these free magnetic massages. So I tried one, and I liked it. And she let me know that there were some meetings where I could get more information. And so I started going to those on occasion. And I have flat feet. And so one of the first products I tried was the magnetic insoles. And that was a big help for me, because being in the military with flat feet is not easy. And then as I heard what was happening for people, from minor things like my issues with flat feet to people who were basically giving a death sentence, recovering, I got excited about that. And it took me about 2 years as a customer, but then I decided to actually start promoting the products. And what was neat for me was that this stuff is simple to incorporate into your life, and the results of what people were getting, people with all kinds of different problems were getting great results, and very happy about those. So that was very rewarding. And as I consider what we did in medicine and what we were doing with this, when I actually retired from the Navy, I decided to go not to stay in the medical field, but to be involved in helping people stay out of the medical system as much as possible. And in that time, I was while I was still in the Navy, though, I went to Iraq, and I was in Fallujah. And I think I'm the only one who had a certified wellness home in Iraq, because I was with the Marine Corps as a Navy medic, and the beds were not very good. I was not sleeping well, and the water was plastic water bottles sitting out in the hot desert sun, and the air was also not good. And so I had all those technologies from Nikken that my sponsor and different people sent to me, and also the nutrition. And I had all that while I was over there. And as you can guess, being in a war is a little stressful. So I had all that with me, and that was comforting. And I had more energy once the sleep system arrived. So and I actually was still plugged into Nikken even while I was there. I was able to make some calls and listen to what was going on and everything. Anyway, so that was a great thing to have while I was there. And the other thing that's really neat is, in the military, I got to travel. Well, with Nikken, I get to travel to different places and have that freedom. And you were mentioning about taking care of family. I take care of my mom, and having the flexibility of a home-based business is a big help, because I couldn't be away at a job in the situation I'm in with taking care of my mom. And so that's another big advantage, is be able to control your schedule. And I just like the quality of the people involved in Nikken. When you go to a Nikken event, it's like you're with friends, like you mentioned, and I always want to be around sharper people. So being around people like that, you grow a lot more. In fact, somebody has mentioned that this is a self-improvement program disguised as a business, and I really believe that. So, and my latest team, I'm excited because I've been going to Toastmasters for a long time, and recently had several of them join me in business. And I'm very excited about this team, because they each bring different skills to the team, and we're really growing. Really excited about that. And that's that's exciting when you have new people in and they're very excited. And I think John Langell, one of my new team members, he's as excited as Dave Johnson, if not more so. So that's really fun.
That's so cool. Yeah, Dave Johnson's, of course, the granddaddy of us all here in the U.S., and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
And it is so much about personal growth in all 5 areas, all 5 pillars, and that's so exciting. So, what do you like to share with people first? The vision of Nikken, or any particular products, or do you just focus in on where they're at?
I like to focus in where they're at. I do like to start them with the water, if there's any reason to go with anything else specific, because when they're hydrated and everything else we do works better, and they understand water, that it's the problems with it. You hear about these Flint, Michigan, and these problems, and I always think, what if they would have had the Nikken waterfall, which takes out the lead and things like that. And so other than that, then it's whatever their need is. And the neat thing too is having these answers for your family. Like, for instance, my mom, she's had many different health challenges that we've been able to help, including canceling surgeries, like a knee replacement surgery, just by using these technologies. And my family will call me up when they have an issue, saying, well, I have this issue. What do you have to help with that? And so that's really neat to have an answer for them when they have an issue. And it's actually comforting to know you can do self-care instead of sick care all the time.
It's so true. My dad was a physician, and he talked about the Hippocratic Oath that first do no harm. And with the Nikken products, we don't do any harm. You can only help, and it usually does. And it often helps in ways that we didn't think. It may help with whatever we're addressing, but then other things get better because it's the whole body working together from the cellular level up. So, and that's one of the great gifts, being able to help our parents and older people as they are aging. It minimizes the downside of aging, which is great.
And that's right. When I was a medic, there's times that we actually made people worse. And so that's another thing. You had a little bit of pressure on you because you had someone's life in your hands, and if you made a mistake or they could have a reaction to something, the nice thing with Nikken is it's safe.
Yes, well, I just can't imagine what your experiences were like in Iraq and being a medic all those years. I really appreciate you sharing. We are out of time, but can you just share, what would you say to a brand new person who's just learning for the first time about Nikken?
I would say give it a good look, and mainly try the different products and try them with your friends, and I think you'll see a major difference like I have. I was amazed that how many times people got better. It seems like most of the time, not every time, but most of the time they get better, and we didn't hurt anybody. That was the exciting thing. And look at the opportunity. It's just really, part of health is having a purpose. And I'm very passionate about doing and being involved with Nikken, and it gives you a purpose. And I think that's another aspect. With all the opioid problems and all the medication problems we can make a difference with this. And so I would say definitely get informed about this.
Well, that's great, Don. Don Shenck, thanks so much for sharing with us. And this recording will go out to, be on my YouTube, and I'll send it out to those who are on the call. And thanks again, Don. Really appreciate it. Amazing stories. And Let me just go back to some closing slides here. So let's begin your new success story, active wellness and a life in balance. It is purpose-driven, as Don said so well. It really is a great opportunity. So become a customer, like you said, start with the products, and when you start sharing them, Nikken will send you a check. And so you can become a part-time entrepreneur. It's the best gig on the planet. And if you really want to develop a full-time entrepreneurship with it, it totally works doing that. So it is a better way, and we invite you to explore till you really, the deeper you look, the better it gets. It's quite amazing. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having